Hello, everybody. I'm just going to wait for you to come back in after that last one. Just going to wait a second. Let's see. Let's see who I've got. Hello, hello. Hello. Shame I wouldn't mess it up like I did. Hi, Carol. Thank you very much for coming back. I have to wait for the others to come back in now. Royally messed that one up, didn't I? Hello, Clint. I like your icon, Clint. So as I was saying, Clint, my neck hurts so much, really, really badly. I really, truly believe it's the manifestation of, I don't know, lingering turmoil from working so hard on Heygo. That's much better, isn't it? Only problem is it might cause problems for other people, but you know what? The most important thing is that the video after is okay as well. But yeah, this is much better. I wasn't kicked out Heygo style. No, I basically, if your phone is locked into orientation before you start the stream, then it doesn't matter how many times you it doesn't matter how many times you click the unlock button, it will always stay in portrait mode, which just wasn't very good. Hello, Lisa. Hi, Joyce. Nice to see you guys. Now, this video is going to be a little bit different to usual, guys. This is actually walking through tools mostly. So I'm panning the camera around like a lunatic. But I'm going to be showing you all these different tools because I'm getting ready to become an oil painter this very week. So I'm going to show you what I've bought. We're going to see what that looks like. So I don't know. I hope you guys like this. It really might not be just for you. It might not be the kind of thing you like, but you know, it's how I've got to start. It's how I've got to start because I just know that some people are going to say, "What are you using? How do I use that? How much was that?" So the best thing for me is that some of you have already seen it, or that there is a video that people can go and check and see exactly what I'm using constantly, because that's exactly what everyone's going to ask. Bad neck from looking at the phone too long. Thank you very much, but no, it's not. I'm very careful about how I look at my phone. Also, I've been looking at my phone my whole life, and I've never had this, well, my whole adult life, and I've never had this type of pain. This is a pain that I wake up with, and I believe it is, as I've said, it's some kind of manifestation of stress. I was in a bad relationship one time, and towards the end of that relationship, I had an extraordinarily bad neck for about 4 months. So yes, I know exactly what other people can cause within one. Hi, Lethargy. Nice to see you. Right, what I've got here is a lot of lovely oil paints. So let's take a look at the oil paints and let's take a look at how I believe I'm going to create some wonderful paintings if I'm lucky, if I've got any idea. Well, I've actually not done oil painting before, all bar when I was a kid. I managed to get a hold of a little bit of white and a little bit of black. So I think I had both of these. I had a big white tube and a little black one. And I basically made a black and white painting that was very nice. I used some pictures from Vogue of some ladies, and I made maybe I was only 16, but I think I made a quite provocative looking piece maybe. But that's what I used. Yeah, Gregory, it's not from looking at my phone. I would have probably said it was from looking at my phone if I thought it was anything to do with that. But I'm very, very careful about how I sit. My neck has been hurting for a solid week now. I haven't been looking at my phone any more than I would have before. Yeah. And I usually have great posture, Gregory, while filming and everything, actually. I don't really subscribe to poor posture. It's no good which is exactly why I do multiple jobs, because I don't like what having just one job can do to your body. For example, if you always work in a supermarket, be not very careful about how you sit. Now, here you can see the prices for everything. So we've got 4,620 yen, a lot of money. Well, maybe it's not for watercolors. Sorry, it's not for oil paints. It's not a lot of money. In American money, that is, oh my gosh, sorry, it's about $40. And in British money, it's about £32. So that might sound like a lot, but it's not actually a lot for oil at all. And they are called Holbein oil colors. And I hear they're very, very good. So I'm quite excited to use them. And now the important thing that you're meant to have if you start doing any kind of painting, really, if you want to do it in colors, all you actually need is the primary colors. So you actually only need something like this. Although people might determine that you should use different shades of that red. I think this is the set that people would go for. So this is what you should be using if you want to start doing oil painting. And recommended is a white here. Okay. And I'll just let you know, I think this stream is going to be under an hour, maybe only 30 minutes or so, because it's just about the colors that I've got. Whereas the future ones in this set are probably going to be an hour to an hour and a half. Okay, so just letting you know, that'll be where I'm actually painting. So we've got the colors ready. Now my usual brushes that I use. My usual brushes that I use are lovely and soft, lovely and fluffy, soft paintbrushes. This is what I use for doing my watercolor. I love the lovely, soft, fluffy brushes. But that's not what you need for oil painting. Oil painting is different because the consistency of the paint is so much different from the oily consistency. So I've gone all out, right? If you're going to do something, yes, you're asking the question I'm answering right now, Clint, so I'll just continue. So the ones that you use for oil painting, oh, that's a lovely one I bought for watercolor. The ones used for oil painting usually have tougher bristles. Now, I'm not sure if these are natural or synthetic. I imagine synthetic. Let's have a little feel. I mean, to be honest, they might be natural because the tone of the bristle changes throughout the bristle. So I think they might be natural. And I don't know what they'll be from, but usually they're from something like horsehair or hog hair. But I don't know if these ones would be from hog hair. And they're used, that's used usually for natural ones because it's coarse. And don't worry, that doesn't mean that the animal has been killed for you to be able to make that, because you don't need to kill an animal to take the fluff from it. So letting you know that now. But I've got some lovely different brushes here. I've got broad square ones, wide and small. This one is almost an inch, and this one is maybe half an inch. And then this one, which looks a lot like a makeup brush, but I just had a feeling that would make nice edges. And then I've gone for a small one. There were smaller ones available, I think, but I've gone for medium small because the weight that you put down on the brush should help make it even thinner again if you need to. And this one, because with oil painting, the consistency is very oily, and that means that you can still blend while the paint is drying. So oil paint takes a very long time to dry. A long time ago, it would only have taken days to weeks to dry. But these days, you can add things to it which make it dry a little bit faster, or quite a lot faster, actually, and also help it blend a little bit more. Brushes made from horsehair, potentially, yes. And I'll just see if I can get you a little close-up of the names of this. So all brushes, even in watercolor, acrylic, everything. For acrylic and a watercolor, you can use the same brushes sometimes. It depends what kind of effect you like. If you were doing acrylic painting and you used these brushes, then you'd end up getting lots of painted lines in your artwork. And for some people, that's cool. That's the style they want. Some people want it to be smooth. Gregory's wondering, for the first time ever, how they shear a hog or a horse. Well, the horse they might just sneak up on and take a bushel off the back. I don't know. I don't know. But I guess we're going to have to get on this glorious YouTube and have a little look further. But here you go. You can see that these are also whole bins. So I've spent quite a lot of money on these ones. These ones, they have prices each, and they're approximately $8. They're like $7 to $10. Okay, this one is much less. This little one. So if it uses less material, then it's going to be cheaper. So this one is $5 American. So they're 1 for 1 in Canadian, by the way. So if you're Canadian and you see these numbers, please just pop a little decimal after 2 numbers, and you've got your, so $10, 12, 8, 9, 1. Sorry, not 1, 8, and 5.80. Thank you very much, Joyce, as they're beautiful brushes. You know, I'm yellow biased, so I went for these yellow ones while wearing yellow here. So in American money, that is, top one is $9. This one is about just over $10. This one is 7, 8 something, 7, and about 4.90, 4.80. And in British money, that's like £6, £7, 4, 5, 5, 4, and then £3. So hopefully that gives you an idea of how much this kind of stuff costs. You can buy sets for much, much cheaper, but I'm working towards an art exhibition, and also, do I say I'm a professional painter? I'm a painter. Like, I've been doing it for many, many years. So I wanted to start the right way. You know, it's also a business expense. So I thought I might as well treat myself. Now, what I've got here, I bought these a little bit blindly because I don't really know what I'm doing, but they weren't as expensive as the other things. These are for mixing paint, but also I don't know what style of oil painting I'm going to like yet until I get started. So you can mix your paint with these, but also you can directly add paint to your canvas or board or whatever it is that you're painting on with oil painting. So I'll be using these as well for that mixing and adding. Let me see if I can open that for us. No, it looks like it's really stuck. Let me use some scissors here. So I remember my mum having these. So I think my mum used to do a little bit of oil painting. She must have, but I don't really remember that. I remember her doing other things. And she was oil painting with she was using oil painting tools with not oil paints. I'm not sure. So here we have it. These are a little bit flexible. Let me see if I can focus there. Yeah, they're flexible, and they're basically for you to grab and mix up your paints, but also you can choose to add them to a canvas in the same way. You know, if you want textures for trees and things like that, or edges of anything, you can pick it up with this. Now, I'll be making quite small artwork, so I don't think I'll necessarily need big ones, but I guess it might help me get a base and things. I've gone for whole bin because the internet is vast. Oh, so Jubilation Lang says, I've loved my palette knives. Yeah, I didn't even say what they were called, did I? Yeah, palette knives. You can also use things like this in chocolate making. For tempering chocolate, you use quite a wide one and push the chocolate around while it cools down. So the internet is vast, so I was able to look up lots of things on the internet to get some kind of recommendations and stuff, and that's how I determined that I would just go for kind of higher quality stuff right from the start. But honestly, this is still mid-range high quality. Some of the other paints would have been triple the price. I was a bit astonished. And these here were about £5 in British money. This one a little bit more, would have been $7.50 British money, and these, I guess, in American money about $7 and just over $10 here. Of course, exchange rates are changing all the time, so if you hold me to that, then that's on you. Clint says, my aunt used to use palette knives to show snow on paintings with snow-capped mountains. Yeah, it's lovely, lovely, lovely. So I'm excited for this. They also sound nice. Now this one's much, much firmer, but I guess you'll be getting those mountains. But notice how there's, oh, hello, it's me. Notice how there are many useful edges, this long one here and this small one. So you could turn it over and things as well. So I think all the edges would be useful, and I hope I make the most of them. I hope I give them all a good go. I've got a couple of extra paints as well. I bought a silver. No wonder our serious artists are mostly destitute and starving for the sake of their art, right? Everyone's like, oh, it only took you 20 minutes to make. I'll give you £2. And I'm like, no, thank you. You don't know how long I spent training, and you don't know how much these cost. Go away with your tiny offerings. Peoples. Yeah, these things can be a lot of money. And I bought a couple of extra ones of these as well. These were maybe quite a bit, maybe £5 each. I got a silver and a light yellow, which it's got an excellent name. It's called Bismuth Yellow, which is just pretty great. So those I'll add to my selection. I don't know yet if I'm going to be mixing just from primary colours or if I'm going to be adding lots of different ones. But yeah, the silver should be cool. But either way, here is a limited palette. So this is only 10 plus 12 colours. Of course, I can mix my own colours from that. But this is what creates part of the style in your painting. If you're using the same kind of colours throughout, or the same colour bases, then each piece of art you make is going to have something in common, which is one of the things that makes it feel like you've got a style. So it might be useful for some people. Now, am I going to paint on canvas, or am I going to paint on wood or paper? Are you allowed to use oil paints on paper? Yes, you are allowed to use them on paper. However, the oils all disappear. They all disappear right into the material you're using. They all absorb right into it. So you have to use a primer. So here I really don't know what I'm doing with this, but I've bought it trying to seem like I know what I'm doing, and also I think it's right. So this is going to work as a primer. This was really expensive. I did not want to buy it, especially not knowing what it was exactly, but I'm going to go with it. Jubilation says, I'm still learning and experimenting with colours to find my favourites. Whatever ones I don't like the most, I'm going to donate to a art school or something. Nice idea. So yeah, this is a quick base in white. I was actually looking at yellow and grey and other ones, but I've just gone with white to start my base. You can choose all kinds of different colours to start your base, but also I believe that I can mix in a bit of something else if I wanted a different colour background. So if I wanted a yellow background because I want some kind of luminosity to shine through my artwork, I think I can add it to this. And usually bases are actually in acrylic. Acrylic is waterproof, and so often your base is some kind of acrylic thing. And if you're using paper, you might want 2 or 3 coats of that, and it might take quite a long time to dry. So today I'm going to prep these so you can see that happening. I had this idea that I might make a poster based from a first piece that might be done on a round canvas, so we'll see, but I haven't really decided what that might look like. It could look like an alpaca. Basically, my exhibition is going to be based on all of my Heygo postcards from other people's tours that I went on. So I did go on an alpaca tour near the end, so it would be great if I added alpacas to my first piece. I don't know. I've bought myself a palette. You can use wood, you can use paper, you can use palette paper that you peel off of the pad and reuse and stuff. The most important thing for me is that whatever I get is environmentally friendly. One of the reasons I haven't used oil paints before is because they're just simply not as environmentally friendly as watercolor. That's also why I tend to not use acrylics, but I've got to spread these wings. I've got to experiment and see what works, and other people have much less environmentally friendly hobbies, so I'm just gonna bite the bullet and allow myself to be one of these people in this world, just like you guys. I've bought an unusual palette. This will biodegrade faster than something plastic, but also I can clean it easily if I want to. Now, how do we clean things with oil painting? We use well, my mum used to use white spirit, that's what she called it. This is a low toxicity brush cleaner. Another reason that I haven't done oil painting till now is because I've never really lived anywhere big enough, particularly in Japan. Before I came to Japan, I started doing watercolor painting. Some people might not have realized I started doing that because I needed a way to travel easily with my art. Long before that, I was making pixel art out of hammer beads that, like, obviously they're not environmentally friendly. So woke up a little bit. I was like, need something travel friendly and environmentally friendly. So that's why I started doing watercolor. Now I'm going to be using this. I imagine that is just not good for the environment, full stop. But, you know, I've got to cut some corners in some places. This is low toxicity. Basically, this spirit, actually, you need it to clean the bulk of the oil off of your brushes. It's the only thing that will allow that to happen. And it smells awful. So if I find myself getting dizzy and excited or passing out while I'm presenting the live tours of me having a go at oil painting, then that could be why. That could be why. But luckily, I've got that low toxicity. That means it's not going to smell as bad. Also, right in front of me, just here, I've got a big window that I can open. The only problem is as soon as I do that, you guys are going to probably hear the train station quite fantastically in the background. So we'll see what happens there. I also got some foil, aluminium foil for the Brits out there, and aluminum foil for the Americans out there, and alumi foil for the Japanese. Alumi foil for Japanese people. Basically, I'm going to make myself kind of makeshift palettes. This is my theory. My theory is make makeshift palettes. If I can even work out how to open that. This Trixie opener. It says open, but it's got so many holes for opening. Okay. What I was thinking I might do is put little arrangements in here so that I can lift it and clean it without using that toxic creation. Yeah, adds ambience. So I was hoping I could do this. And the reason I've got a dish is because I imagined myself using a flat palette and constantly putting my arm in it. And if you get oil paints on your arms, it's just not, you know, it's going to ruin all of your clothes, full stop. So I got this so that I've got less chance of immediately getting oil on everything I'm wearing. And of course I will be wearing something akin to an apron as I create the work as well. So, yep, that's what you'll do. Squish the paints into there. We'll see. Maybe I won't use that. We'll see. We'll see what I do. I'll see. I'll have to experiment with that one. And this is the medium that you use to, I hear, it speeds up the drying process of the oil paint. Actually, it takes it from weeks to days. So I'm excited to use that. You can get many different kinds of oils. Let me think of some others. Lavender oil. Maybe I'm making it up, like rosehip oil, and lots of other things. Linseed oil is the most classic that people use, and they just tend to put in a little bit of this in with their paint to aid it drying faster. But I can't remember if it thickens or thins it. However, I'm pretty sure I can add a little bit of this if I want to thin my oil paint. And usually when we start oil painting, we work with thin backgrounds, and then we layer until it gets to the thickness that we want. And these will be vital in removing things that I think went really badly. So I can literally scrape oil paint off of the canvas that I use. Now for my canvas, first of all, I've got this really cheap rudimentary easel, which I'm probably going to regret big time. So I might have to invest in something a little bit more solid. But then also my pieces are not going to be very big. So maybe that's fine. Hello to anyone just coming in. If you haven't had a hello, do let me know. I can give you one. So I've got some things to experiment with at first. I've got this MDF board that I got very, very cheaply. We're coming up to, thankfully, the cheapest few things on my in my collection today. So I'm going to prime that. I'm going to prime that in front of you guys in a moment. And looking at it, this actually has a pine cover, a pine laminate on it. Now the pine is going to be super absorbent, which is not good for oil painting. So this is MDF. I think this looks much less absorbent. So I think I'm going to prime this side, and also it's super smooth. Now I hear there people are using cotton or linen as their backdrops, linen being more expensive for the canvas. And all of these have acrylic bases, primed bases. So I'm going to prime this. Also, I've got some little test pieces. Now, each of these was 99 yen, which is about 80 cents or 60 pence in British money. I use these for watercolor. They are not canvases, exactly. Easy cleanup is always better. Yeah, true. So these are for watercolor. You can get ones that are just for drawing. These are special signs in Japan. They're usually yellow with a golden edge, and people use them to write special messages, and they're usually quite important to Japanese culture these days. So calligraphy normally happens on them. Probably shouldn't be putting my hands all over it. As a general rule, don't put potentially oily hands all over your painting supplies, especially not if you're going for watercolor, because the oil of your hands and the loose consistency of the watercolor and the fact that it's water, they will not blend, so you get loads of gaps in your painting. So I'm going to stop touching that like a fool, and I am going to prime these in front of you. So you're going to watch me prime those. Now, as I said, I will be using my Heygo postcards. So I've bought this brilliant thing. It was only 100 yen, about 90 cents or 80 or 90 cents or 60 pence, 65 pence, depending on the ever-changing inflation rate. This is for storyboarding for manga, but I figure that I can write some nice ideas. Do you see it's got a kind of grid formation there? Write some nice ideas for each of my paintings, and do a couple of little sketches so I get some nice ideas and I can lay it all out. Now, you guys might have noticed or heard me say that my exhibition is actually in 5 weeks, not very long. It's at the very end of May, and I'll be releasing tours for you to watch that too. And Catherine, one of the voyagers on Heygo, is actually also sending me some of her artwork, which is very, very exciting. It'll be quite the contrast. I've got a lot to do in not very long, but unfortunately cherry blossoms came early, and then Heygo was closing, and it took all my time. And then I've had trolls attacking me and all kinds of things, and you don't even want to know what's been going on with my boss and managers and that at the day job that I've got in Japan working for Nova. It's just a nightmare. I've had everything coming at me while I'm trying to chill. What's the name of the art shop? That's a good question. That's a really good question. The name of the art shop, let me see what I can do for you there. It's in Kyoto. It's my favorite art shop, and I've actually never even looked at the name of it because I'm really sorry that's not how my brain works. I can take you to it, but I don't know the name of it. However, what I can do is I've got another phone right here. So let me take you to it on the map, and we'll see. We'll see if we can find out what it's called. Mara Cafe. Okay, it's right next to this cafe called Mara Cafe, but you'll never be able to find the name of it. You'll never be able to find the entrance to that. It's in Kyoto. And coming up to Kawaramachi. The art shop I like to go to is Gasendo Kawaramachi. See, it's just going to be difficult for you guys. Here it is. So if anyone wants to know the art shop that I bought all of this from, it's called Gasendo in Kawaramachi. Okay, so it's a really popular area in Japan. In Japan in general, yeah, Kawaramachi is really popular, but you can buy everything there. Now, I actually looked all over Japan to get these art supplies. I went to Tokyo, I went to Osaka, just by chance because I was in those places already, and I could not find the art supplies that I needed. But these ones I got in Kyoto at my favorite art shop, the first art shop I went to in Japan, upon a recommendation from a Japanese person, and my favorite one. So I go and spend a bomb. All of these supplies cost me about $200, guys. So it's very expensive. They cost me $250, about £165. It's a lot of money. So it really sucks. So huge thank you to any of you who tip me on Buy Me a Coffee or become sponsors or make lovely, incredible donations. Thank you very much to those of you that have done that. I do appreciate it. Of course, it's my life. Of course, my life, I've got to suffer all these things I decide to do. But I hope that my sharing this with you brings you some kind of joy and teaches you a few things. I've got this background from an old picture frame, just a bit of chipboard. I'm going to use it to prime some of these pages. Oh, Joyce says, I miss not getting a postcard during the chat. When will we see Heygo again? Lovely. You can take screenshots, lovely. For me, I have to put 3 fingers down and go, ch. You can take screenshots. And there are some extensions you can get for YouTube as well. Yes. That mean you can take postcards. This is a glass jar. Actually, I'm going to need a different glass jar because my brush is so big and I don't really want it toppling and falling over because that's the last thing I need in this tiny apartment of mine. But glass jars are what you need for the spirit medium that you use, because plastic, I think it'll just kind of erode out of the toxicity over time. So best not to do that. I'm going to open this base. So let's get some base in the room. I'm going to open that and I'm going to prime these little babies and the other thing, the MDF stuff that I've got. Now I got a knife here. This is roughly how you do this, I think. You try not to ruin your knife. I remember my mum doing this often. My mum would always like to decorate the house, so she would use emulsion. White emulsion she'd get and then use different types of acrylic paint to change it. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to just ruin my knife, full stop. If anyone's got any tips for this, do let me know. Should I have maybe tapped it on the side first? Do I need to put all my weight into it? What do I need to do? I might do it off screen so you guys can't see how dangerous it looks in a minute. Yeah, I might have to go off screen, not let you look at that. 1 second, because I'm going to use a different tool. But I don't want you freaking out. Oof. I think it's coming up. It's coming up. I'm using my scissors. Put a cloth over it and tap the middle lid. There's no poppy-uppy bit in the middle. It's actually raised entirely. Let me see. Spirit medium should get me some supernatural inspiration. Yeah, we'll see. Oh, it's not going to be a very good tour if I can't open this bit. I just have really weak fingernails, so that's not going to work at all. Worse than watching paint dry, watching British girl trying to open paint. Oh, 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 we're on it. Yes. What does it look like? Look. Interesting. Now, I just need a unimportant big brush for this. Unimportant big brush here. It smells peculiar. Okay. What I'm going to do is prime the thingies. Let's prime the thingies. So, I hope those of you that might benefit from seeing the things that I'm using as we go along, enjoy this video. If you're coming back to this video at a later date, I hope that it brings you some joy and happiness, some usefulness as well. I hope it lets you know that oil painting is accessible, but it is expensive. You can just get some oil paints for pretty cheap, I think, and have a play at home. Especially in the UK, you can buy them, I think, for just £1 or £2. And And then you can get some white spirit for just a few pounds as well. But generally, I find things are quite expensive in Japan. The only thing that isn't expensive is going out for lunch or dinner. In comparison to other countries, that really isn't much money, in my opinion. So I don't know how that's going to work. I'm just going to let that do its drying thing. Because it's paper, I might have to add a few layers over time. And I might have to not get my hair stuck in everything. I think I'll have to wear my hair up every time I do oil painting to stop myself shedding into the things I paint, which is quite likely. But yeah, I'm doing this. The work that I make is for sale, is always for sale. So if I use cheap supplies, what happens is when you guys buy my artwork, if you do, over time you'll find that it turns yellow and it cracks and it fades. So I try and use high quality things to prevent that happening. If I find this is just acrylic paint mixed with water, I'm going to be pretty annoyed it cost me as much money as it did. But, we'll see. Pressuring. This is pressuring, not the same as being on a great community site from the UK. Oh, I'm sorry, lovely. What do you mean by it's pressuring? I hope you don't feel pressure. Everybody's welcoming you, lovely. And we're all happy to have a little chat with you. Sarah, did you make your way back into this chat? I hope you did. I feel bad if you were only in the last one. So you're literally just watching boring white paint dry now on boring white backgrounds. How's that feel? I wonder how long it takes to dry. I imagine it's pretty quick. I tried to look at the back, but just a bunch of Japanese on that, of course. I was really worried when I went to the shop to buy these things because I thought, oh, it's just all going to be in Japanese. But luckily, a lot of stuff is in English on the front. So I can do some little test subjects over the next days. That'll probably be on these. Feels normal. I like that. So all of my YouTube tours, generally, as long as nothing crazy happens, should all be going up on YouTube after. Oh, watching me paint is quite relaxing. Nice. Well, I'm nervous, actually. I'm quite nervous to start painting in front of you guys. So oil painting, like, I don't do it. But I hear that, to be honest, it is one of the things that is the most... people are most scared of it. Artists are most scared of it, if they haven't done it before. For me, it's just about the being safe in my environment. So making sure that I've got good ventilation, and also oil paints can damage your stuff more. So if I only live in a small place, like I can't even tell you how many bedrooms I've got because everything is all in one room, guys. I live in Japan. It's all just here in the same room. So the reason I haven't done it sooner is because oil paints and their stuff are heavy, they're toxic, they require more space. So that's why I haven't done it before. But I'm a bit nervous for you guys to see my fast brush strokes, see them live, and I don't know. I mean, it's not in this chat now because I had to delete it because my phone was not on rotate while I set up this new version of the tour. But I'll add the details to the YouTube video it creates afterwards. What I'm trying to say is there's no description in this one right now, but I'll add the description. It says, please do give me advice if you'd like to. I usually tell people if I'd like advice rather than just having 10 different people advising me excitedly in the background of my life, because I don't really need that. I need people to ask questions to see if they need to advise me, is what I need first. However, I'm new to oil painting, so if you see things that I'm doing, you're like, oh my goodness, she does not know. There's a much quicker way to do that. Then you're welcome to let me know. You're welcome to let me know. However, it does say in the description of all of the other sessions, it says, you can give me advice, but do not be upset if I don't use it, because I'm here to, I do want to hear your advice. I really, really do. But I'm also here to learn by myself and to have a play. There are there shouldn't be rules really. I think maybe Picasso said, learn the rules like a pro, break them like an artist. I don't want anyone thinking there's a standardized way to be doing anything. I stick with acrylics and watercolor because of my cat, and we're not allowed to dispose of oil. Oh, 1 second, come back, live chat. We're not allowed to dispose of oil paint or supplies to clean up from it from here. I would have to ride to a disposal site. Oh my goodness, that's a shame, isn't it? Oh, I haven't really considered that, but you can chuck away all sorts of nonsense here in Japan. There's a lot of plastic, so I imagine I'm good. I'll be careful. You know, if I use a foil first, then I can wrap up the oils, which is going to create less problems for other people when they go in my dustbin. So maybe that's for the best, huh? Okay, so I've got other tours coming up this week. I hope you check them out. I've got next in order, I've got a painting tour for this on my Friday. Sorry you have to wait quite a while. I've got some very important events in the real world. Not that this isn't the real world. So you have to wait till Friday for that. And my Friday, probably your Thursdays. And then I'm going to do journaling on my Sunday, then another painting session on my Sunday. And then I'm going to take you to Hikone because I don't want you guys thinking that I've forgotten to do proper tours. Now, the thing is, I do have to get on with this painting, so it's going to be very painting centric for a month, very, very much so. But I'm going to take you to Hikone, and I'm going to walk you around the streets, but streets that you haven't been on, and then I'm going to take you behind Hikone Castle to Lake Biwa, and I've planned all of that for sunset. Now, I'm really sorry. If you're in America, I think that pictures that in the middle of your night. I'm so sorry, lovelies. But you will be able to catch up with that on YouTube later, so don't worry. And I'll also be doing it with my friend Sarah. So it'll be this British girl and American girl walking around the streets to get you some nice shots that you can take a screenshot of for little postcards if you want to. And other than that, yeah, just letting you know that I'm here also for my sponsors as well. Like, you can credit my sponsors to that because they're sending me money on Buy Me a Coffee, part of the Kenda Packer Club, and that allows me to afford the time to do some extra special tours and things still. Okay, but don't forget, any of you can go over to Buy Me a Coffee at any point. So far on my YouTube live streams, one lovely soul from each of them has sent me a coffee, which is very nice. It might just be one, but it helps. Yeah. Of course, take any postcards you like, And after this, what I'll do is I'll try and get you a shot of all of these tools laid out. I think you might like that, wouldn't you? So you can have a little look for yourselves. And actually, I'll put a picture of all my tools laid out on Buy Me a Coffee. So please do follow me, buymeacoffee.com, buymeacoffee.com/MissKendalJames. Should sort you out, no problem. Right, I've decided to go for the MDF side of this. Is it still winter in Japan? No, it's lovely, lovely spring, Joyce. Lovely, lovely spring. Now, some people would say this probably makes a better palette than background. I don't know. If this works well, this one, then that's great because these are cheap. This MDF is super cheap. And it also feels really solid, really, really solid. So we just got this one to fill in, and then I'm going to get you a shot of everything all together in the background. I'll move these things out of the way as carefully as I can. So you can actually paint on metal and plastic and canvas, loads of things. So what do you think? Am I going to be any good as an oil painter? Are you guys going to politely keep quiet if I'm not very good? What are you going to do if I'm not very good? Joyce will give it to me. She'll say, Kendall, I think that's not very good. You're better at watercolours. Some people living in America have it full winter, even though it's the spring right now. I'll be awesome. Well, we know what the thing is, the thing that doesn't matter. Luckily, I don't care what other people think. So even if it's not anyone's idea of awesome, we know it'll be okay. We know I'll still be happy. So I appreciate you very much. Thank you very much, Gregory, for staying up so late for this. Although I'm sure it's not too late for you, considering we go to bed quite late, I think. And anybody else who stayed up later for this. But I think for a lot of you, you're in America. Not too many watching today, but I hope that others will catch up in the future. Some people who come to watch this might think it's too long for a YouTube video, but what I'm hoping it services is the people that come and watch what I do after this. They'll want to go back and have a look and see what I used and see how much it costs. So hopefully that services those people when this goes out as a live, not as a live video, when this goes out as a video afterwards. So what this should be doing is making a protective layer. To be honest, to me, it doesn't really feel that protected, but I'm going to trust it. Especially as it cost a bomb. That's not a reason to trust it. Just because something's expensive doesn't mean you should trust it. But we'll see. A little bit smelly. So after this, I'm going to open my annoyingly loud window. Okay, Gregory says he'll give me work decorating walls based on this. Interesting fact. If I was decorating walls rather than doing any kind of artistic painting, people would pay me more money per hour. In the UK, people will pay about £35 or more per hour for someone painting their walls white, even if they do a bad job, like I so often find they do. They'll pay that much money per hour, and yet if I make a piece in an hour and tell people it's £35, they will not be very impressed. They'll say, "What? Why is it that much?" I'll say, "Okay, thanks, I'll keep it. I liked it anyway." So interesting, isn't it? How we view whether or not something is useful or important, or should be paid for. How we perceive value is very interesting. I think interesting means a lot of swear words and annoying. Yeah, well, basically, basically, Jubilation Lang, who says it would be nice if they paid you that much to do a mural. Yeah, I basically won't do it anymore out of principle because of things like that, unless people are paying me a proper amount of money. Now, it's already done a version of drying. I'm going to lay them out on my table after. But for now, I'm going to stack them up and I'll let them do proper drying after. Okay, I'm just going to make you your shot of all the thingies. Oh, so sorry. 9:21 a.m. where I am. That's right, Joyce. Well done. Arumi Hoiru. We've got to get the Arumi Hoiru. Oh, look, it's already got all of my paint all over it, as if I've been using it already. Let me see what I can do. So there we go. Thanks for hanging out for the best part of an hour. I hope you had a insightful time. And I hope you'll join me for more oil painting coming up. Next is all painting, guys. It's all really, really going to happen. And I hope you'll join me just to hang out. Jubilation Lang says, I would like to know how some painters keep their tools so spotless. Well, I haven't met those painters. They sound like fake news to me. Just kidding. Okay, here we go. Loads of lovely thingies. Oh, thanks. Sorry you have to wait so long for the next tour, but thanks. I'm glad you're looking forward to it. Got a couple more thingies back here, haven't I? Okay, let's go up high. Oops, sorry, just dropped you guys. Ta-da! Oops. Keeping Kendall on schedule. So thank you very much, guys. I hope you had a nice time. I know it's not what my usual tours are. You literally had to watch paint dry as well. But I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you very, very much. And I look forward to seeing you at the next one, next time. Okay. Thank you so much. And I'll see you now. Bye. Oh, thanks. Thanks to Nancy's friend who says she's excited. See you later.